Good morning, I'm Kelli Paddon.
And I'm Ian Fenwick.
Welcome to Daybreak Fraser Valley Weekend. I can't believe it's October already, and I have no idea where summer went.
No, I don't either. Went with the smoke, I guess.
Yes. All right, today we welcome Sheila Evani and Carson Davies of Waterstone Law to introduce their new legal series on Daybreak.
Also, we welcome back Natalie Bedard with Total Wellness, presented by Rivercrest Contracting Limited.
And we're also going to get into a conversation with Ian, and I just wanted to congratulate you on your Chillies Award nomination.
Well, thank you very much.
All this and all the news from the Valley this week and our picks for the best things to do this weekend, right after the break. Welcome back, and very pleased to have you on. And as I mentioned, congratulations on your award nomination for the Chillies. I heard you just heard about it.
I did just hear about it. I'm quite flattered, and I don't know too much about it. Uber achiever sounds kind of, Uber. but I'm grateful someone thought of me in that category, and I look forward to it.
There are some incredible nominees in all of the categories, so I'm looking forward to the night and seeing you there, hopefully, and we'll be, I think, spiffy and dressed up and watching all the things about all the creatives in Chilliwack. So
I look forward to it.
Yeah. What did you get up to this week?
This week, we're preparing for a concert series Sunday and Monday with the Chilliwack Rock Choir.
The Rock Choir, yes.
And so we're in the final rehearsals and going over the music to make sure any of the little rough spots are taken care of, and making sure the group is singing well together. There's 150 voices, and I think everybody's got a lot of enthusiasm. It's a real great night. We've got a great band that plays with us, and great leader, Andy Hillhouse from the Harrison Festival. So it's going to be a great night for everybody who's got tickets. The Monday night sold out. There's a few tickets left for Sunday.
That's
but
fantastic.
Not many.
I mean, that's great news. I hope it sells out. I got an adulting win this week. I remembered to make an appointment for my furnace without anything going wrong. So it's just that preventative maintenance. So
it's that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is, I think, only the second year as a real bona fide grown up where I've remembered to do it before something breaks down. But with that, let's jump into the news in the Valley.
Sure.
All right, so in Abbotsford, Amy Judd of Global News reports that a 66-year-old semi-truck driver was detained for impaired driving after a crash on Highway 1 on Monday night. And it happened just after 8 p.m. near the Whatcom Road exit, with the truck flipping its load onto the road. Yikes. Fortunately, no other vehicles were involved, no one was injured, and the truck driver has since been released.
Ben Lipka of the Abbey News reports that Matteo Brasina of the UFV soccer program set a goal record in a winning weekend for the Cascades at UNBC in Prince George, beating the Timberwolves 3-1 and now have equaled the program's longest undefeated run at 8 games. Brasina is the team's all-time leader in goals, assists, and points. The Cascade women, meanwhile, recorded a win and tie over the weekend local games.
Excellent. In Chilliwack, Jessica Peters of the Chilliwack Progress reported this week that a multi-vehicle collision on Monday near the Popcom area resulted in a semi-truck crash over an embankment and left it dangling over rail lines on Highway 1. Paramedics treated 3 people on the scene. This also resulted in a close of the highway between Chilliwack and Hope. Also from Chilliwack Progress this week, the RCMP and bank staff, this is exciting, stopped a bail scam while in progress. So this actually happened on September 26th, but only was reported this week. Police were called to a suspected fraud in progress, targeting what they described as a vulnerable community member. The incident was resolved without the scammers getting any money, and just a reminder that scammers will contact potential victims on the phone to try to create a sense of panic and urgency and to actually negotiate an amount of bail that's something more affordable. But your bank won't do that, and the police don't do bail over the phone. Scammers will arrange a meeting in person to try to collect the money, and that's not how it works. So very glad this was thwarted. It just goes to show how vigilant everyone needs to be and how vulnerable some people are.
Yeah, and how low some people will go to try to extort money from vulnerable people. It's a terrible thing.
Absolutely.
Matthew Claxton of the Aldergrove Star reports that the former mayor of Langley City, Val Vandenbroek, is running for a seat as an independent for Langley Township Council in the upcoming October 25th by-election, with one of her major priorities being issues between city and township, in particular the RCMP and transportation, citing TransLink needs to do more for Langley. She also states that win or lose, she's also planning to run again in the 2026 civic elections. This time she'll be facing former Langley councillor and mayoral candidate Blair Whitmarsh and former Liberal MP John Aldag. Van Broek said she is in the process of moving to Aldergrove.
Okay. I think that civic election is going to be heated across the valley.
I think it will be, particularly in that region.
Yeah. Dan Ferguson of the Langley Advance Times reports Langley City is conducting a feasibility study of whether to upgrade Al Anderson Pool or whether to replace it. There's an online survey available until October 24th at letschat.langleycity.ca/aquatics. letschat.langleycity.ca/aquatics. That's it for the news. After the break, my chat with Ian, and we will see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back, Ian. I'm so glad you're here. For people who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What brought you to Chilliwack? Have you always been here?
No, I've been here 45 years, though. Came out to start the theatre program at the university. Well, it was Fraser Valley College at that time in Chilliwack. And built the program over 35 years and then retired in 2015. And now I continue to do things in the community like the Chilliwack Foundation and the Creative Commission and Rotary Club, various things like that.
Yeah, we met at Rotary, right?
We did, yes.
All right, so there are 100 things that we could talk about, but today we're going to be talking about the Chilliwack Foundation because not as many people know about it as you would think, considering the vast amount of work that the Chilliwack Foundation does.
Yes, it's one of those organizations that works quietly in the background, supporting the community, giving scholarships at all the secondary schools. We are able to give out over $400,000 each year in scholarships from the foundation.
Wow.
And we also have a distribution committee which receives applications from nonprofit organizations and adjudicates them and then distributes money. And that's usually in the $250,000 to $300,000 a year on community groups, projects, various things in the community. We have given out to 145 nonprofits in Chilliwack over the 40 years of our existence.
Wow, okay. So what kinds of things do organizations do with the money?
Well, it's a long list. I said 145. One of the things that the Cultural Center, going to have the Chillies there, we just gave funding so that there could be seating in the Rotary Theatre there, the renovation of the seating. Out at the Blue Heron Reserve, there's a pavilion there, and the foundation was one of the partners that gave for that. There's various other things at the Blue Heron Reserve that's there. We've done a lot with Bowls of Hope and the Salvation Army building the sustainable hub for food and that sort of thing. Chilliwack Hospice Society and Davis Society, the Arts Council, many schools with playgrounds. We've given money for that. The Atchilus Threshermans, we were just out there for our 40th celebration and our rally, and we've done things for their Grandma's Grill, the roofing of that, and all the kitchen equipment. Foundation has been involved with that. The YMCA, the Chilliwack Hospital, the list of search and rescue, the list goes kind of on and on.
So if people have lived or played or worked or driven in Chilliwack, they've probably been impacted by the work of the Chilliwack Foundation.
They have, yeah. It's all over the community, and a lot of people that are studying at school now or have gone through programs because they've had scholarships. And the scholarships are good, the monetary value, but I think it's the encouragement students get for go furthering their education in all different areas. So we're glad that we can give in all the secondary schools for students.
Absolutely, and I know a member of the Chill TV family got one of the scholarships, and that was fantastic, and all the grads are always, it's so great to see them celebrated. I sit on the board of a couple of the organizations that the Chilliwack Foundation supports, and I know how important it is. So everything from kids having access to play spaces, to ending gender-based violence, and nature reserves, and everything across the board, search and rescue. So you were talking about the rally, and you were telling me about this earlier. It was a little bit of a scavenger hunt, right?
It was. We wanted to raise awareness in the community about the foundation. So Fern Heaps, who's my predecessor as chair of the foundation, had this idea of creating a rally in which cars of 4 people would come to the Achilles Threshold, and they'd be given a package which asked them to go for the next 3 hours and go to sites that we had provided funding for and get a picture taken and make sure they were there, and then come back. And the team that came back earliest and had all the things identified correctly won various prizes, and we had a big wrap-up sort of dinner, barbecue with a band. We had the lounge hounds out there and dancing, and it was a rainy day, but we had some tents donated and everything, and it turned out to be just a wonderful celebration of 40 years of the foundation. And I think it raised money, and it also raised awareness of what we're doing.
All right, so awareness and coming back to the money. I mean, 40 years worth of giving doesn't happen in isolation. We have some pretty incredible people who have given. So how does that happen?
Well, back in 1985, a group of citizens in Chilliwack saw the need to have a foundation. I think had seen the success of the Vancouver Foundation, which is one of the best foundations in the country and has been running for some time, and saw that if citizens donated, they could create a legacy in the community. And so over the years, people with foresight got into this. We got people who really knew about money and how to invest it safely, and funds were put into trust, and so that all the money that's given out is from interest. There's no capital that's ever given out. It's all in trust, and so that any money that's donated to the foundation goes into the trust, which is at about $12 million now, and it's from that fund that then we were able to fund projects and scholarships and that sort of thing. So Chilliwack Foundation is online. Most of the accountants in town, a lot of the lawyers, various financial advisors are aware of the foundation, and if you wanted to leave some money or create your own kind of scholarship within the foundation, a lot of them are named so that when they're given out at award ceremonies, the name of the person that donated the money is there, but they're all held in and managed by the foundation. It is audited every year. Every penny goes back into the Chilliwack community. There's very little overhead because we're all volunteers. We don't have any staff. It's all volunteer done. And every penny that has been donated has developed this interest and the ability for us to provide funds for projects in Chilliwack.
Well, what an incredible gift. I know so many people, so many organizations, so many families have benefited from the work, and to think that it's all volunteer run and all of the giving is happening just on the interest and the return, and that initial gift is still there, just growing and growing, is a beautiful thing.
It is indeed.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for co-hosting with me today, and thanks for sharing more about the Chilliwack Foundation.
It's a pleasure, Kelly. Thank you very much.
Okay, next up we're introducing our brand new segment, and it's answering important legal questions. It's Sheila Evani and Carson Davies with Waterstone Law Legal Video Series. Then after that, Natalie Bedard returns with Total Wellness, presented by Rivercrest Contracting. And after that, Ian and I will go over our picks for the best things to do this weekend. It is a fantastic treat today. On Daybreak, we have Sheila and Carson from Waterstone Law Group. And we're going to be doing a little bit of a series to answer some questions that come up a lot. But today, I thought we'd do a little introduction. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
So, many people, when they think about real estate transactions, they think of a realtor. Maybe they even think about a mortgage broker, which they'll probably need. But not everybody thinks about a lawyer. So, what kinds of things would a person reach out to a lawyer for if they were purchasing a home?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we find ourselves not getting involved in the purchase transaction until much later on, often when people have committed themselves to a specific contract already.
And there's a problem?
And well, there can be, which is people come to us for as well. But it's important to get a lawyer engaged early on. It's never too early to even just planning. We're planning to buy this property in city of Chilliwack. What sort of things should we be looking out for? Having us review the contract before you sign it, having us review it, or any certain other documentation before you remove subjects and commit to the deal. We can take a look at your title search. We'll be getting into, of course, First Nation lands in more depth, but what are the differences when buying on First Nation land? What are some key documentation I should be reviewing beforehand? So I think it's important to engage a lawyer early on, ask questions, get some advice from the get-go.
All right, and now Waterstone serves all across the Fraser Valley
Yes.
and even into Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
So you've probably seen a lot of different kinds of things, but what kinds of deals might be particularly important for a lawyer to be involved in?
We find typically that we get involved when there's more complexity to the deals. So complexity could be anything from, we have this very specific concerns, like we're buying lands and there's specific concerns about that, and we just want to make sure that we're covered. So as a buyer or as a seller, potentially there could be other, sort of similar issues that the seller wants addressed, or there's different payment terms or whatever, depending on what it is. It could also be if you don't have a realtor involved and you want to do a private sale, you need a contract, and a lawyer can do that for you. And there's all kinds of non-standard type of agreements that people enter into, or often, so where you've got a co-ownership potentially situation, or you're buying a piece of land on farmland, and potentially there's a business that's associated with that, or maybe there's some environmental concerns. But it's usually a good idea at that point to talk to your lawyer to get some idea. The other thing is often in estates. So you've got an executor who's trying to sell, their deceased parents' home, and they really have to report, and they have to account to potentially their siblings and other beneficiaries that they have done their due diligence. So that's often they'll come to see us as a lawyer to just get us to make sure that everything is in order.
Okay, so it sounds like if it's a little bit non-standard, it's especially important. Maybe if there's family involved, because a lawyer can put a little bit of distance between the goal and the emotion of it, help you prepare a little bit. And Indigenous land, because you're buying, that's a different way of buying, which is becoming much more standard, much more common. But so when I go see a lawyer, I know, when I see my realtor, when I engage my mortgage broker, when I see a lawyer, it sounds like it's really goal-focused, that it's a lawyer's job to take a look at the goals and tell me what I need to know and my rights. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. When we work with a team using your realtor, your mortgage broker, we can kind of take out all the sort of headache components to purchasing, all the thoughts and all the planning stages, so we can work together as a team and make sure that there's sort of active communication throughout that entire process. Make your job or role as a buyer much more stress-free, because it's already a stressful experience. I'm just making sure your interests are covered from the very beginning, and not trying to unwind any sort of headaches that you may or have gotten yourself into without involving a lawyer very early on. Yeah.
All right, so sounds like we have a lot to dive into when we come back. Yeah. But what is one thing that you want people to take away today about engaging a lawyer in real estate?
Oh, I was going to say, don't be afraid to reach out early. That was definitely is always a key takeaway. And also, you don't necessarily have to come with very specific questions. I think it's start with your objectives. What is it that you are concerned about? More generally, what do you want out of the process? And then we can we can talk about how best we can help you.
Great. Well, thanks for coming in today. I know we're going to keep talking about some really interesting topics, and I can't wait till you come back.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hi, it's Natalie Bedard, your fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach. And today I want to talk to those of you who are too busy to do anything new with your fitness and nutrition. You just can't seem to get any progress. It's the last thing on the list. And I want to challenge you with that. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. And I know that sounds really annoying when you feel like, hey, you don't know my life. I really am too busy. I've said that too in other areas of my life where I just couldn't seem to make the time to fit things in. And my coach years ago challenged me with something that I'm going to challenge you with this week. And that is doing a time audit. So what you do is you journal. Either you can do it with an app. You can look up time audit app. You can do it on paper, just in a journal. You can use notes on your phone. But what you're going to do is really just write down everything that you do in the day. And this will itemize how you're spending your time. It will identify how you think you're spending your time and how you're actually spending your time, and also point out time wasters. So when we can find those time wasters, now you can take back that time and use it effectively. Use it for things like planning your nutrition or fitting in some exercise. By identifying time drains, now you can reallocate your resources, or you can find ways to tether activities together. So say meal prep while watching your favorite TV show, right? You're spending time with kids or grandkids. Go to a park where there's a place that you can exercise with your grandkids. When my daughter was small, I used to exercise with her. I used her as a body weight. So there's ways to integrate and spend time with family and exercise, watch your favorite TV show, meal prep, so on and so forth. So you can tether things together and find ways to be more efficient with your time. So you want to do this for 1 week, write everything down. So even when you're doom scrolling and you're sitting on your phone, that's really important actually, because we do want to identify the ways that you're wasting time that you're unaware of. So do it for a week, go back, reassess, and then look at where you can fit in small habits. You don't have to change everything. That's usually why most diets and nutrition plans fail. It's because we're looking for perfection or to do all or nothing. So if you can just fit in some small habit changes, add in little time blocks. You've probably heard me talk about time or exercise snacks. 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you've got, fit in some activity or some productivity that can help move your nutrition planning forward. So try that for this week. Do it for a full week. Really identify how you're spending your time, and then you will find opportunities, I promise.
Welcome back. Fantastic segments. I'm very excited about the legal segment, and that was a nice little taste as to why you'd need a lawyer for real estate.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, Natalie Bedard taking care of us. Thank you so much for Total Wellness. We're going to jump into what we're going to do this weekend. But last weekend, you went to an exciting show at the Cultural Center.
Well, it was fabulous. It was the beginning of their 15th year, and the Cultural Center is a wonderful asset to our community. Jean-Louis Bleu doing a wonderful job over there. I brought in Chris Hadfield, the Canadian astronaut who's walked in space and led the International Space Station, and has been the person on the ground in Houston calling various other space shots and space walks and things like that. He was an amazing speaker. He did a wonderful presentation. He had lots of slides of him being in space and simulated the liftoff of a rocket, and the bass and the speakers in the cultural center were just vibrating.
Oh my goodness.
And it was like almost more than you could take. And he said, well, that's about half the volume when you're sitting in the capsule and waiting to take off. So he simulated that for us. And he talked about, what it's like to train and whatnot. But he was really using it as a model for how he, as a young person of 9 years old, saw the landing on the moon, and then he said, that's what I want to do, is be an astronaut. And there were no Canadian astronauts at that time. There was no way to become an astronaut, like it's just something in science fiction. So he just started to prepare himself, and he got an engineering degree and science-based. And then there was an ad in the paper that he just happened to see that said Canada needed some astronauts. So he applied, and out of thousands of applications, he became an astronaut, and then just kept preparing himself. And he ended up in space. And he said, that if you take care of yourself, if you apply yourself, if you have a vision of something you want to do, and you do the things that need to be done, you too can walk in space, basically, or you can have a successful, sustainable life. It was something you could apply to everyone's life, how to be successful.
Sounds like a great show.
Oh, it was fabulous.
Just
And
keep-
full house.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, in the Rotary Studio, he signed books and posters and handbills, and chatted with people as if we were the only person in the room when you went up to meet him, and was so glad to get him to sign a book. And he was from Sarnia, Ontario, and so was my wife, so I had a little bit of a chat connection there. Wonderful, wonderful human being, and a great Canadian.
Sounds like a great show. And keep an eye on the newspaper in case they're looking for any more astronauts. That's fantastic, just to hear about that. But bringing us back down to earth.
Okay.
All right, so for this weekend. In Abbotsford, tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m., it's Teresa Caputo live, so maybe not totally back to earth. The Experience at Abbotsford Centre. So she's a psychic, best known for TLC reality series, Long Island Medium. So are you psychic?
I don't think so.
No, me neither.
No.
Okay, so tell me if you think I'm going to the show. No. I'm
Are you?
I'm not.
Okay.
Apparently, Teresa's powers come with a bit of controversy and some doubt, but you can be the judge yourself. It's kind of cool that she's in Abbotsford.
It's also Culture Days in Abbotsford, I think, throughout BC. In Abbotsford, September 19th through October 12th, where a number of presentations have been curated around Abbotsford, including Indigenous canoe making, the art of carving, live music downtown with Ted Kim, live painting with Jennifer Sheppet, theater games at Gallery 7. Always love to see things at Gallery 7. Just so much this weekend. These are happening at various locations throughout the weekend. Check abbotsford.ca/culture days, abbotsford.ca/culture days for full details.
All right. Well, in Chilliwack tonight, 'tis the season of the witch. A number of filmmakers from throughout the valley will be gathering at Chill TV Studios to get their instructions and launch the inaugural Chill Films 666 film race. Participants will have 66 hours and 6 minutes to create a horror masterpiece, a film short that must be under 6 minutes, and you guessed it, 66 seconds, which is actually 7 minutes and 6 seconds. But
Okay, yeah.
I feel there's definitely a theme here. Then the films will be featured at the 66 Night of Horror, October 18th. Horror, October 18th at the Chilliwack Museum. Tickets are available online.
Keeping on with the theme at Cultus Lake Main Branch tomorrow at 1 p.m. And what a great way to kick off the Halloween season is the annual Wicked Witchy Paddle Ride 2025. It's basically a witch parade on the water. You can either be a paddler or, if you want to stay on the land, a beach witch. Just dress up as a witch or warlock. Paddlers are reminded to wear a personal flotation device and that there are no lifeguards on duty.
Well, I live up there. I'm probably going to check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see if I can get some cool pictures.
Yeah.
And what would you get if you took 150 of your closest friends and formed a singing group? you know the answer to this, you'd get the Chilliwack Rock Choir. That's what. So, Ian, you're actually in this group, right?
I am, yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit more about it. You mentioned it before. It's this Sunday and Monday?
It is at the Chilliwack Cultural Center. Show starts at 7:30. There are some tickets left for Sunday, but Monday's been sold out for months, as soon as the tickets went on sale. It's a great group of people who love to sing, and we have a rock band that plays with us. The director is Andy Hillhouse from the Harrison Festival of the Arts. We have a set list of lots of great songs. David Byrne, Talking Heads, we have AC/DC, we've got Heart, we've got Queen song, we've got Creedence Clearwater Revival, we've got Fleetwood Mac. It's a real nice mix of songs. I think the audience is in for a treat.
Something for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, in Langley, you can tell it's now fall in Langley. We start with the giant pumpkin weigh-off at Crowsberry Farms and Estate Winery tomorrow, Saturday, from 1 till 3, where giant pumpkin growers from BC and Washington State will converge. It's the only world-recognized pumpkin weigh-off in Western Canada. So it's a free event. You can take the whole family, and in addition to the pumpkin goodies there, there'll be food and activities. Or maybe something a little bit more adult is Langley Oktoberfest at Trading Post Brewery and Tasting Room tomorrow night starting at 5 p.m. where you'll enjoy German beer, food, games. Das ist gut.
Das ist gut. In Mission, it's MJ Lives, the Michael Jackson Experience. Audience are taken on a mesmerizing journey through Michael Jackson's iconic career, from his early days with the Jackson 5 to his groundbreaking solo career. So if you're an MJ fan, this is a must-see and happening tomorrow starting 7:30 at the Clark Foundation Theatre. A lot happening on Saturdays this weekend. I guess Sunday you can get a chance to rest or go down and see the rock choir.
Well, Ian, I'm so happy to have had you as our guest host this week. Best of luck on the Chillies and the performances this weekend.
Thank you.
The Chillies are coming out November 7th at the Chilliwack Cultural Center. And to all of you, thank you for watching. Have a fabulous Fraser Valley weekend.